All right, I'm back. Is there anybody out there? Is there anybody still out there? Hello, hello. Sorry about that. Not sure what happened. There we go. Zero or Syrah. Zero. Ubaldi. Hola. ¿Cómo está? How are you? And from India, Rajneesh. Amen. Namaste. What's app? No, I don't have. But what's up? What's going on, ladies, gentlemen? Namaste. Oh, I wish I could understand Hindi. No, I do not know. Narendra Modi. Ciro, are you there? Ciro, hola. ¿Cómo estás? Where are you from, Ciro? What part of India are you from, Rajneesh? Ah, Prime Minister of India. Come in, people, come in. I see your eyeballs. Come in. Don't swipe. Come back. Do you know this guy? Five more days. Wait, Alexa, what date is it today? Oh, 15th. Okay. 5 more days. So how are you, Rajneesh? Good day? I know it's already Friday over there. What time is it in India? About 4 o'clock in the morning? 4 or 5 in the morning? Or 3 o'clock in the morning? Ah, when I read that, I put it in context of our greeting, and I said, I wonder if that means how are you? It's nighttime there. What time is it? Oh, that's right. 3 in the afternoon. What is it, about 5 o'clock? Or 4 o'clock? Oh, at midnight? In India? Midnight on what? 3 o'clock. Let's see. 3 in the morning. You say it's midnight? In India? What part of India? Oh, it's 1:18 a.m. Oh, is that Friday morning? Oh, so you're only, gosh, I thought you were 12 hours. That'd be three. It's only 10 hours ahead if it's Friday morning. Friday morning? Oh, I haven't been to India before. Only Kathmandu, Nepal. Way back before you were born, probably 1986, something like that. It was, yeah, 1986 when I went to Kathmandu, Nepal. That was the closest I went to India many, many years ago. Jason, you're back. Awesome. Tell the other guys to come back too. I don't know what happened to my live stream. Um, right now it's in the process of producing a recording, and it's like, wait a minute, I didn't record my live stream, but it's creating a recording, and it was weird. I was like, wait a minute, what just happened? So whatever happened, I quickly developed another live stream and came back and called it part two. So you're waiting for me, Rajneesh? Uh, when I get there, you can make some dal for me and some the flatbread. What is that called again? Naan and dal. Maybe one day, Rajneesh. You never know. Jason, were you? You're listening to music? Oh, jalebi? Alibi. Alibi? Oh, that's in, is that a dessert? What about dal? And naan? Limbo by Daddy Yankee. I never heard of it. Oh, which Indian YouTuber? I don't have a favorite, Rajneesh. T series. No, I don't, Rajneesh. Is that a YouTuber? Oh, you said it's Limbo by Daddy Yankee? Of course I know Mr. Beast. I think everybody knows Mr. Beast. Are you, what is your heritage, Jason? Do you know? You know, what country does your ancestors come from? Well, you say American. For instance, yes, I was born in America, but that isn't your heritage. That's your nationality. You know, what country does your parents originate? Do you know? Mine come from England and Scotland. Because America is a, you know, Anglo-Saxon. that's that's specific. What's up, extras? Oh, I see. T-Series did? Maybe I saw the, Is It a Guy? T-Series is a Indian. I think I saw that. I saw that episode. Scotland! Right on. That's mine as well, bro. I'm a Mac. You know, my last name. You see my last name on the channel. It's MacKay. From the Mac clan. Scottish. Um, is that what you said? Did you say Scott or S-T-O-T? What that? Wait. Did you mean Scott? Extras, where are you in the world? Oh, I see. He's a performer, music performer, and German. Yeah, my mom's English, Welsh, and my dad is Scotland and French, I believe. French Canadian, but I'm not sure if that's France originally or. Yeah, that's right. He's Scottish. Oh, yeah, your wife, you said. Didn't you say your wife is from Costa Rica? Is that right? Yeah, well, that's not South America. That's Central America. But same difference. Yeah. Well, that's cool. Awesome. Was she already here in the States when you met her, or did you travel to meet her? Oh, in Brazil and Portugal and others. I got you. Awesome. Does she speak Portuguese or just mainly Spanish in high school? Sounds like my wife. She was here as a young adult, but she arrived in 1995, I believe 1995, from the Philippines. I did, yeah. I was hoping you guys. Oh, you're back. Thanks, Doctor Who. Because I didn't know if you were going to come up on stage and do that multilingual stage. So in order to come up, you need to you need to be a mod because unless you're on a phone, nobody can click the link on a phone. But if you're on a laptop or a PC, you'll be able to click the StreamYard link and then come up on stage. I'll be dang. You met her all the way back then? Yeah, if you're on your phone, you you won't be able to click that link. What you can do, an alternative, if you're not on a laptop or a PC desktop, is take a screenshot and then copy, because you won't be able to copy or paste either. Is transfer that address into another tab and open it up in a tab. Or you can open it up on in your email, or you can like write an email to yourself. But the easiest way, I think, is to open up another tab and then type the address up there in the address bar, and then hit enter, and it'll take you to this StreamYard, to this platform right here. Does that make sense? Yeah, it's okay. You can do that though. Like I said, take a screenshot if you want, so you can have the address. You see the address isn't very long. Just type in that address in another tab on your browser, and that will take you to my live stream, to the stage. You will come backstage, and we can talk up on stage with each other. Does that make sense? Doctor Who, what, where? I'm going to call you Doctor Who. Kawi, you're back. Welcome, Kawi. And Kawi, you're in a foreign country, correct? Kawi, I'm trying to remember. Kawi, you are you in the US, or you're in, I don't remember. You told me before. Oh, Kentucky. Okay. So you're a fellow American. My fellow Americans. We're trying to get a multi accent panel by bringing up people from different countries. Hey, John. John Yo. Thanks, John. Welcome back. Man, it's already 3 in the afternoon. That is so cool. I say that because I'm trying to make it till 10 o'clock tonight. Not on live stream per se, but just stay awake until 10. And I'm going to be toast. Probably way before that, but that's my goal. So I can convert myself back to normal human being hours. Yeah, you too, Mr. John. Not too busy. It's freezing here, and that is putting a slowdown on everything. It's 20 degrees out right now, so it hurts a little bit when I'm out there, on the face in particular. And I finally used my car for the first time well, I used it the other day, but before that, I hadn't used it for 2 or 3 weeks. But my wife's car has been the workhorse. Yeah, 34. I think it's It was 20 this morning when I took my wife to work at 6:30 a.m. Alexa, what's the temperature today? 32 degrees. Yeah, and the low's going to be in the 20s. So, yeah, our snow already melted. We had only 2 or 3 inches, maybe 4, and that didn't last. But actually, it's still on the ground, but a lot of bare spots all around. Everything's clear. It was nothing. Apparently, we're supposed to get more. Um, it just snowed in. Oh, you're in Kentucky, yeah. So you're right there by the others that were here from Wisconsin and Michigan. I know you're already ready for the summer, or at least the springtime. I'm a springtime and fall kind of guy. Summer can be a little overwhelming, you know. That kind of puts a dent in things. Give me 1 second, guys. All right, guys, I'm back. The son just came home with some incredible food. Did you get something for me? I know, I didn't ask. I'm just now hungry now that you brought that home. He just brought home Mexican food. Oh my gosh. What'd you get? Oh, the same? Your burrito? Oh my gosh. Yeah, John, I'm actually the same way. I can dress warm and stay warm and dry a lot easier than I can cool and wet. You know, summers are just a little too overwhelming for me. Although those perfect fall days, you know, when the temperature drops and there's really perfect weather, there's no wind, and wintertime are my best seasons. What exactly is what? Sorry. No. Oh, did somebody do a video about some lady mocking God and then the next day all that fire broke out? Yeah, the fall is incredible. It's almost like that neutral, lukewarm, you know, shower that you take that you can't even feel the temperature. You know, it's almost like it's perfect. You don't feel cold, you don't feel hot. Yeah, the falls can be incredible. Yeah. No, I didn't, Kawi, but yeah, I can imagine. Um, what uh yeah, Doctor Who, help me out. What were you asking? What exactly is that, Doc? Oh, the StreamYard link? Yeah, that'll bring you up here on stage. Does that make sense? Have you ever done a Zoom meeting? You know, it's same difference. It's you're doing a video chat. It's like Messenger, but you're going to be up on stage with me. You know, you'll be right next to me, in your square will pop up or below me, depending on what format I choose. And you can come up on stage with me. You can either come up with your picture, with your video open like mine is, or you can come up like this. You can come up with your icon and your voice will be, you see my voice reflecting on that profile picture there, or on that photo. That's actually a photo. Well, you can either come up with your video or you can come up just with your voice. It's up to you, whatever it is you want to come up. Or if you don't want to come up, that's fine. I'm just, the link is there for those that no, it's not a lot of pressure. You can stay behind your picture if you want, and just come up with your voice. But there's the link again. There. Yeah, you see how my if when you come up though, if you do come up, it's up to you. You don't have to. Just show your video, keep your video on so I know it's you. There's an actual person. Here's what people do. They will literally grab your profile picture. They'll do a screenshot, for example, of this chat. And they'll take your photo, your profile picture, and they'll copy it. And they'll use it pretending to be you. And they'll even they'll use the same name, John Yo. And they will come up on stage, and I think it's you, but they won't open their camera. And then when I accept them and I bring them up on stage, they pop their camera on and they're butt naked. Literally. Been there, had that done before I knew better. So to prevent that, whenever I'm doing a live stream, I tell them to make sure their camera is open like this. And so I can see them. They come backstage, meaning backstage means they're not up on stage and the public can't see them. But I will be able to see you below. Your little thumbnail will pop up down at the bottom of this, and I'll be able to see who it is. And then once I see who you are, then you can close your camera if that's what you choose to do. And then I'll bring you up on stage, and your voice will be, everybody will be able to hear your voice, but they won't be able to see you. Does that make sense? All right, John. Yeah, you were on your break. I think you were telling me your 15-minute break. So thanks, brother. Come on in if I'm still on the next time you take your dinner. Or, I don't know. Is this your last break of the day before you go home, or are you on a graveyard or night shift or? Yes, hilarious. What? As hilarious as that sounds, Doc. Did I confuse you with what I just told you? Oh, you're talking about the popping up here butt naked. Yeah, some guys are, you open they open their camera and there they are whacking off on stage. So the whole world can see them. Whatever that does for them, it's beyond me, but. And what it does as well, it will ban my live stream. The YouTube algorithm will, and their whatever it's called, their firewalls, or the way they protect their channel, they have a ability to recognize, nudity, and if that is seen on my channel, that may just delete my whole channel. So it's obviously a bad thing to allow that to happen. Yeah. Anyways, So I have tattoos, and my daughter is coloring my tattoos on my arms with crayons. Hey, Jason, are you willing to demonstrate just for example, Doctor Who, how this works? Um, you could come up on stage. You don't have to stay up here, but just for a demo to show him how somebody can come up on stage either with their video open and or without the video open and only their voice. Oh, with markers? Well, oh my gosh, she's coloring on you with markers and you're letting her. Well, I guess that's better than the wall. Or is it one of those washable markers? I hope so. Watercolor markers. Oh, you're not that tech kind of a guy? Oh, no. So you don't want to either. Oh, that's right. You're using your Android, correct? Yeah. Oh, sorry. Sorry, John. I didn't read your message here. It was Nikki Glaser at the Golden Globe Awards mocking God. And one day later, the fire started. Oh, my goodness. Oh, you love spring, Kali. Sorry. Kawi. Because you're fishing. Well, that's what I do. So, did we already talk about that, Kawi? Bass fishing? Because that's what I'm all about. That's what I wait for. Is catching the largemouth bass. And anything else that hits it, of course, but that's what I'm hoping for. Oh, what do you mean? Well, you know what? When you post your, oh, I got you. Yeah. So that you can bleep, I understand. Or you can delete, at least give me 5 seconds to do something about it. Right. Well, even better to prevent that, I think I may have explained, maybe you didn't catch it, but when you come up on stage, you don't automatically pop up, with your video. You come backstage, meaning you come up with literally backstage, like with the curtain drawn. I'm just trying to explain it the easiest way so you can understand it. See my, the frame that I'm in right now, the vertical, this is called vertical live. The person doesn't pop up next to me, with their video on. They pop up with their video on out of sight of the public, but I can see them on this here. Let me share this with you. And I'm able to look at them and determine whether or not they're appropriate. If I don't like what I see, I can just click on them and get rid of them and drop them off without anybody ever knowing that they're here. You get it? So I have the ability to what's the word? I'm thinking of the movie term for, it's like I can edit it before I decide to That's not the word I'm looking for, but let me show you what I'm seeing. Okay, this is what I see. Hold on. Oops. Here we go. Here's what I'm looking at. I'm actually looking at my television set right now. Okay? Now look. Look at this. See that right there? That is my television screen. Okay? Just like a laptop, with the browser tabs above. You see my cursor moving around the screen? That's this Xbox controller right here. This is my mouse pad. But I'm on an Xbox looking at my television screen. All right? See my picture up there? My photo? Actually, it's miniaturized, but let me show you. My picture would, or if you came up on stage, your little photo, there we go. That is Lord God. Who is that? I don't know who Lord God is. Here, for example, somebody just pop up on stage, and I have no idea who it is. Make sense? And he doesn't have his photo or his video on right now, so I don't even know who it is. All right, so I can click on the three dots and ban him from the studio. Actually, I'm gonna kick him from the studio. Oh, you are Lord God. Okay. So open up your video so I can see who you are. Make sure you're who you say you are. And then once I know you're a human being, then you can close your video and then come up on stage with your voice. Does that make sense? Residency gaming. Sorry about that, Doctor Who. That's an example. There you go. You changed it. Doctor Who, what, where? You see, you're appearing down at the bottom below me, but you can't see it, but I can. So this is when I get to, determine whether or not I'm going to accept the person up on stage. All right. Can you open up your camera? Are you familiar with how to do that? So anyhow, that's how it works. You show up at the bottom of my screen out of sight of everybody except for me. And then I determine whether or not, I'm going to accept you up on stage. And when I do that, your icon or your video will pop up on stage with me. Does that make sense? I gotcha. It said something wrong and then crashed. Well, you can try again if you want. And, just make sure your video's on initially so I can see that you're, a human being. And then you can come up on stage. Close your video if you don't want to be on video. And you'll be up on by voice only, like that. But you'll still be able to hear me. See? So now you know. Hey, Residency, what's going on, bro? Who's David Allen? Sorry. Oh, with the business. Sorry, guys, if I'm missing your posts. Hoorah, 5 more days. Oh, no. Hoorah, Doctor Who. Praise God for the military. Yep, we wouldn't be a nation without one. Or we definitely wouldn't be uh, the same without one. Can you imagine the USA without a military? I always ask that. Who do you think would be the first country to be knocking on our borders to take over this country? Think about that. Who do you think would be? I have my speculation. China? As far as, unwanted visitors. Yeah, China. Now, we have a good relation. Did you see that meeting with the Chinese? What is the position of China? I mean, of not Chinese, Japanese. Is that a prime minister? Um, who was doing business with Trump, making that deal, and Trump was saying, I want you to do double what you are wanting that he just accepted or agreed to let Japan uh, build their companies over here to create jobs for Americans. What was it? 2 billion? I think that's what it was. And Trump was saying, I think you need to do $4 billion worth of business. And the Japanese business guy was saying, um, well, it's definitely worth considering, but I need your help, Mr. Trump. And he said, I'm here. He says, but I think you need to do double that here in the United States. And the guy was all smiles saying, I'll consider it, but I need your help. And Trump said, I'll do it. Just let me know. It's like so easy for Trump to just make deals like that. It's incredible. Yeah, you think Canada would, right? But as far as, if we had open borders, I mean, an unprotected country, that would be scary to think who would be. We would be in a total uprising, having like there are right now, um, paramilitary organizations forming their own, in the United States. But can you imagine? I can't imagine. Yeah, without weapons. Well, it wouldn't just be Mexico. Well, as you know, the amount of immigrants coming into the United States, illegal immigrants, aren't just from Mexico. But yeah, it would be chaos. I mean, total chaos. Even though the media is the culprit when it comes to, feeding us what you think is, or I say to foreigners that are watching the USA, and listening to what the media says about our country, I always tell people, what percentage of the United States do you think the United States media represents. There are 360 thereabouts million people in the United States. That's 6 zeros after 360. 9 digits total. It's hard to fathom, that number of people. What percentage of that 360 million people do you think the United States media, the entire media outlet of the United States, I mean, talking about all news stations throughout the United States, all 50 states, even if they were broadcasting simultaneously, and you were to count the number of people that their broadcast was representing, what percentage of 360 million people? So my point is, even if you watched all of those channels simultaneously somehow, and you were a foreigner in a foreign country, and you were trying to figure out what was going on over in America, would you be able to say, oh my gosh, look what's happening in America? And have you ever been watching the news and then open your front door and seen exactly what the news is talking about right out your front door, or down the street at the corner, or across the street at your neighbor's house? What are the chances that what you see on the media is going on in your neighborhood? Now, of course, somebody's going to be able to say, I saw it, but that's the exception. So what the media feeds us, isn't necessarily what's going on in America as a whole. Even for us Americans, we really don't know how America as a whole is doing by watching the media. So the media, man, see how influential the media is? Or how influential the TV is, period. It's crazy. So anyways, yeah, I learned a little more about, the military that protects this country just by joining the military. Before that, I have to say, embarrassed to say, and I was pretty naive. I just knew what I knew. Yeah, I mean, but as far as why they were there, we have no idea. I used to work in that side of public service. I was in emergency medicine, but even then, it was, uh, just because so-and-so down the street or in a different part of the city that I live in, is having a heart attack, does that represent what is going on in my neighborhood, my area that I live in? No, it's just happens to be that one person that we responded to that day. But anyhow, yeah, it was a good experience. I joined at a much later age than the standard 18-year-old out of high school. And I got an opportunity to experience, a side that I'd always wondered about, and ended up in Iraq for 7 months. Thank God I got home, and that was the most boring camp out of my life as far as work goes. But as far as stimuli, and now I could have done without the mortars and rockets and stupidity going on over there. It was definitely a dangerous place to try to do your job, no matter what your job is. Seriously, no, in Iraq, the Al Anbar province, Fob Heat, Hit, pronounced heat, next to the Euphrates River, between uh, Baghdad and Haditha Dam. Actually, we were closer to Haditha Dam. That's only about 20 miles away. Half of the battalion was at Haditha Dam, and my half of the battalion was down at Fob Heat. And yeah, Marines do 7-month deployments typically, so we did 7 months there. And then from the end of August 2004 to April of 2005. Yeah. You know, I don't even know what the Sunni Triangle is. I know what the Sunnis are, but I don't know where the Sunni Triangle is. I really don't. Yeah, what happened, Jason? Tell me. Was it something congenital, or did you have some like premature arteriosclerosis that clogged an artery, or what happened? Did you have a narrowing of an artery? Yeah, talk to me. At 31? Was it drug related by any chance, if I may ask? That's not unusual for drugs to be involved in a person your age. I actually ran on a 31-year-old black kid that was actually in congestive heart failure at 31 years old. His lungs were filling up with fluid. He was spitting puke, pink uh, sputum, foamy sputum was coming out of his mouth. It's almost like somebody was, squirting a uh, uh, whipped cream can, but it wasn't that thick, but it was foam, white foam, literally coming out of his nose and his mouth, because that air in your lungs mixed with water creates bubbles, and the sputum, your saliva, and you blow bubbles into saliva, it's going to become white foam. So that was backing up in his lungs, and he was in acute respiratory distress. He was a heroin user. He was in congestive heart failure. Yeah, Ramadi. Um, God, I'd have to look at that map again. Um, I was in one place and really didn't cover anywhere else. I wasn't on the road. I was in a BAS, a battle aid station there at the FOB. I did do some patrols out in the field towards the middle and end of the deployment, but otherwise I wasn't, mobile on in a vehicle covering distances. So the only places I was exposed to during that 7 months was the Al Assad base, is where we landed, and then we got in vehicles, 7-ton trucks, and went into Fob Heat. The city of Heat, we did some patrols in the city of Heat. It was about 8 miles down the way, down the Euphrates. The Haditha Dam, and that was about it. Dulab was always mentioned. That was a place where they detonated uh, explosives that they would recover. So they always had explosions at Dulab every so many days, and they would. It was way a distance away, but you could hear the siren that they would post before they blew things up. So everybody was like focused over there for a light show or an explosion, just to see and hear it. I'm trying to think of any other names of places that we dealt with, but nope, that was about it. Drove me to a hospital. It was alcohol stuff. You mean you were actually diagnosed as having had a myocardial infarction? That's called an acute MI or AMI. The doctor looked at me and said, "You survived a heart attack." What? Really? Did you even know it? Any symptoms that you remember? Pain, shortness of breath, sweaty, dizziness? Yeah, that's, it's totally un uh, like a 31-year-old to be having a heart attack, unless there's some underlying, acute, I should say, chronic use, like drugs, or yeah, that's 31-year-old people. Period. Don't they're young. Young bodies have young bodies. Kids, are even younger. You don't expect them to be, suffering from what a 60, 70, 80-year-old is suffering from, because they're old and they have issues. Typically, they're the ones that have the high blood pressure and the clogged arteries and the shortness of breath and the diabetes and the this and the that. It's just age related stuff. Yeah, but even being drunk, I've never heard of a drunk 31. I mean, let me raise my hand. Was I drunk at 31? Maybe not. I stopped drinking in high school. But anyways, you get the drift. Maybe I was still smoking dope at 31. Yeah. Yeah. There you go. There's always something underlying. 27-year-olds don't have. I did a I did an incredible call. Unfortunately, it's always on the at the dispense of somebody else's suffering, but from a paramedic standpoint, you know, those are the kind of calls that make cool calls, memorable, that you actually get to make a difference on. I ran on a 21-year-old girl who at a skate rink collapsed. Cardiopulmonary arrest. Heart stop, no breathing. 21 years old. Like, what in the world happened to her? You either need to have a bullet in your chest and or something congenital going on, or drugs. For a 21-year-old girl to just drop flat on her face while skating, it was a really cool call. And actually she responded, and she actually was awake and breathing on her own by the time we transported her. That was wild. We had a pediatric nurse in the building, and she offered to help us. I remember all of a sudden she appeared from nowhere, and we're like, "Whoa, who are you?" And she's like, "Oh, I'm a pediatric nurse. I can help." And I went, "Awesome." And then next thing you know, she's putting on the EKG pads for us, and it was pretty cool. She was ventilating. We gave her it's an ambu bag. It's those bellow, those oval bags that the oxygen is connected to. You put the mask over your face and you breathe for somebody. Well, we didn't just breathe for her. We put a tube in her trachea. Did we intubate her? No, no, no. I don't think we did. Intubation is where you put a plastic tube in the mouth, through the vocal cords, into the trachea, and you ventilate, you expand their chest with this tube in your trachea. No, she actually was just ventilated because, like I said, we defibrillated her. We put electricity into her and stopped the arrhythmia that she was in. Her heart went into a normal rhythm, and we were able to maintain that normal rhythm. And when circulation came back, her color returned, her breathing spontaneously started again. It was wild. It was bizarre to see this 21-year-old girl in cardiac arrest doing CPR on this poor thing. And I was like, oh my God, what happened to her? No, no. Tracheostomy is when you can't get into the mouth. and you need to access the lungs via whatever way you can. And so your trachea being right there in the front of your neck, you can put an incision in a hole through that trachea. It's just a cartilaginous tube, a corrugated tubing, with ridges in it. And it's cartilage, like the cartilage in your nose or in your ear, but it's stiffer. You literally pop a hole right into it, and then you put a larger tube through that, and then you ventilate just like you do through the mouth, but you're doing it through the neck. You're just a lot closer to the lungs than through your mouth. But no, like I said, we didn't even need to put a tube into her mouth. We just ventilated her while CPR was in progress. And then we looked at the monitor. It's like stop CPR so we can see the monitor. If you're doing chest compressions, while you're trying to read electricity going through someone's chest, the EKG is going to go kunk, 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 because every time somebody presses on their chest, it just makes a mess out of the electrical activity. So we always say stop CPR so I can read the monitor. And the monitor is nice and still now, and you can see if there's any organized rhythm, in the heart or going through the heart. If there is, we want to know, is there a pulse? You think, well, there's a heartbeat on the monitor. Of course there's a pulse. No, not necessarily. And you're wondering, how can that be? We call that electrical mechanical disassociation. So there's electricity. It's like, the way I can explain it is like a short in the TV. You can see the electricity because you've got snow and static on your screen, but you have no legible picture. But there's electricity going through there, right? But there's a short somewhere. What's the same with similar to the electrical activity in your body? If the electric activity is not strong enough, you might be able to see it as an electrical blip on the screen, but it's not contracting the heart muscle enough to push the blood from the heart to the wrist, or the heart to the middle of your arm. I can't see it, to the middle of my arm, or even shorter, 12 inches up to your neck. So that's why we feel for a pulse in the neck. But it may not be strong enough to feel even in your neck. But you can see on the monitor that there's activity. So we call that EMD, electrical mechanical disassociation. Make sense? So what do you do in that case? Continue CPR. And then we give drugs to try to get the electroactivity to respond, to get stronger so that it contracts the heart even forcefully, and then hopefully produce a pulse. Make sense? So, yeah, she was actually in a rhythm, what we call ventricular fibrillation. The heart's just jiggling like a bowl of jello. It's just quivering. And that's what it looks like on the monitor. It's just like an unorganized squiggle going across the screen. So the heart's just literally fibrillating like a bowl of jello, vibrating. And so that's an indication to shock that. And hopefully that will kick it in the head, literally. And the rhythm will come back organized. And then hopefully that is producing a pulse. It's pretty cool. When you learn it, it gets pretty easy after a while. You do one thing after the other. First you do this, and then you do this. And if that doesn't work, then you do this. And if that doesn't work, then you do this. If it does work, you end up going backwards. Okay. I got a rhythm on the monitor. So do I have a pulse? Yes. What's the blood pressure? How effective is that pulse? How do you check that? You check a blood pressure. If the blood pressure is good, bingo. Leave it alone. Just monitor it. And now you're looking at her breathing. Is she breathing? No. Breathe for her. If she's starting to take breaths again, stop breathing for her. Listen to her lungs with the stethoscope. See how well she's moving the air. Make sense? Is she moving air only up to here? Or is she moving air all the way down to the bottom of her lungs? If she's moving air down to the bottom of her lungs, perfect. Leave her alone. And you can see the color come back in her face. It's amazing. You'll see a skin color of gray and white, like a cadaver, like a dead person. And you'll see it come back to this color that you see in my face right now. You literally see it come back, and it's like, oh, they're looking normal. Are they breathing? Yes. Do they got a heartbeat? Yes. Do they got a blood pressure? Yes. Let's transport. And that's what you do. If they don't get better and everything remains the same and they're like sick and they're just not breathing, no heartbeat after maybe 15 minutes of work, you're like, okay, let's cut butt for the hut. Let's go. Let's go to the hospital. And then you're doing CPR en route. You're pushing more drugs. You might be delivering more electricity and so on and so forth. And so, yeah, electricity is amazing. Although, let me tell you, the majority of cardiopulmonary resuscitation, CPR in progress, they don't survive. 90, I don't know what the number is now, but I would say closer to 90% of CPR in progress, they don't survive. So what you see on television and in movies, is exactly that. It's on television. It's in movies. But when it does work, it's super satisfying. And you're seeing what you learn in school right in front of your eyes. And it's radical. That's the only way I can explain it. It's really, really like, man, this stuff works. But it's the exception. Why? Because elderly people die, and that's what we all have a date with one day. For the wages of what is death? Do you remember that? I've said it before in the past. For the wages of what is death? Why is it we're dying? Why are we getting what we deserve? That's what wage is, right? That's what an employer pays you, what you deserve. Well, the wage of blank is death. What is that? What causes death? But cats can. Oh no. Ba-doom. Jason. That's good. Okay, you made me smile and laugh. That's good. Dogs can't operate MRI machines, but cats can. Oh my gosh. I'll have to remember that. I'll tell my wife tonight. She's a nurse. George Mundi from Spain, another Spaniard. Attorney Moore will come in, maybe. What is that? We won the neck decoration contest. It was, oh my gosh. It was a tie. What is that? It was an R tie. Miyundi. Is it me or me? Meyundi? Meyundi. Meyundi. Are you from, don't tell me? It was a tie. Right. Are you from Kenya by any chance, George? You know, the pronunciation, it seems, whenever the language uses the English or the Roman letters, A, B, C, it's almost universal in the world that the pronunciation of those letters and those vowels are universal. It's a Latin, right, origin, and so even the vowels are pronounced a, e, o, u. Same in Spanish, same in Albanian, same in uh, Spain, Italy. And so if you pronounce it with that common pronunciation of those vowels, more than likely I can get really, really close to pronouncing the word correctly, no matter what country it is, as long as they use the ABC and AEIOU. Ground beef, yeah, yeah. What do you call a guy with no arms and no legs on your doorstep? Right, right. Yeah, the AEIOU is pronounced. Now we have long A and short A, long E and short E, long I and short I, etc., and sometimes Y. Even in my wife's country, the Philippines, their pronunciation of vowels, a, e, I, o, u, and they pronounce all of their vowels. Sometimes their words have double A or even triple I next to each other, and they pronounce all of their vowels. So it's E, or A is ah. Okay, yes, that's correct. What do you call a pig with no legs? Ground pork. Oh, okay. What do you call a guy with no arms and no legs on your wall? We're being horrible with these jokes. Go ahead, George. When I'd go and sit by the fireplace, my uncle would always tell me to put it out and stop wasting firewood. Sit by the fireplace. My uncle would always tell me to put it out and stop wasting firewood. What? When I'd go, he'd tell me to go to the corner. It's 90 degrees, fire or not. Tell me to go to the corner. It's 90 degrees. What? Well, the corner is 90 degrees. I understand that. Fire or not. Okay. Yeah, as in a right angle. I understand that part. I was trying to read the first part here. When I'd go sit, am I missing something in that part of the joke? When I'd go sit by the fireplace, my uncle would always tell me to put it out. Oh, and stop. Okay, so you built the fire. He wanted you to wasting firewood. He'd tell me, go to the corners, 90 degrees, fire or not. Right. Sorry, I was expecting more, I guess. But I understood the 90-degree part. Okay, so as last night I was watching a movie. The mom dies and dad had to take care of the son. The son went missing and the dad is friends with a crazy, okay, mental woman. Yeah, maybe I was, George. I was overthinking. Um, it was Finding Nemo. Oh my gosh, why am I not getting these things? Okay, last night I was watching a movie. The man dies and the dad had to take care of the son. The son went missing and the dad is friends with a crazy mental woman, correct? Oh my gosh, I'm lost. Why am I lost, Jason? It was Finding Nemo. I think so. I was thinking of the movie going, Nemo. Yeah, I've read Finding Nemo. All right, you guys got to explain it. I'm lost. Sorry. Yeah, doesn't Nemo leave home and he ends up caught in that net? I remember I was trying to recall all of the events in that movie. Maybe my son would get it better than me. Yeah, I know. I've watched Finding Nemo. I remember it somewhat. How was your camping trip? It was intense. Oh my gosh. See, that was shorter and simpler. Uh, what do you call a girl with no arms and no legs out in the pasture or on your barbecue? There, how about that? Either one. Out in the pasture on your barbecue. No, that's Patty. What do you call a man with no arms and no legs in your swimming pool? Oh, there goes my battery. Let me replace it real quick. Phil, no, that's Bob. Come on, Jason, you can get this. The bears walk into a bar. One of them says, I'll have what I usually do and get my friend one too. Bartender says, why the big pause? Second, bear replies, guess he was just born with them. Um, there we go. We're back. That was quick. See how quick that was compared to the last time I disappeared? Because it wasn't a battery issue. It was a Xbox issue. Oops. Zoom in a bit here. Okay. Um, let's see. Uh, oh my gosh. Yeah, using an Xbox to live stream. And this is my keyboard, my mouse, and my keyboard. It's the antiquated way of chatting. The tip, 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 tap, tap, tap. Tip, 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 tip. You see? Here, wait. Let me turn the TV here. Whoa, how did that disappear? That was weird. Oh, I'm using that, sorry. I'm using that virtual screen here. Hold on. Virtual background, that is. Okay. So I've got this, you'll see it in the camera here. See, there's the TV. Whoa, I just hit the wrong button. Let me get rid of that. Sorry about that. What button did I just hit? There we go. See, that's on the TV screen. See, and there's the Xbox right down there. Got it? So this external camera is my webcam. It's a Lumix digital single lens reflex. So I'm not using a laptop or a monitor mounted webcam. It's just my regular camera that I use for the outdoors, and got it tethered to the back of the Xbox. It was on so many levels. Okay. Yeah, I had to figure this out on my own, George. I'm sure if somebody would have known what they were doing, would have figured it out a lot sooner than I did. But this webcam thing, I ended up trying to decipher it for, I think, going on 3 years, and I just kept giving up. And then one time, it finally made sense. So I ordered the proper adapter from Amazon, and voila, I plugged it in and the camera came on immediately. I was like, oh my gosh, it's that simple. All I needed was a, what do you call it, adapter from a USB to a, what's the the ultra high definition plug, the video and audio adapter plug. Gosh, what is that? UHD? No, not UHD, but whatever that adapter is. Doc knows the 3 rings of marriage. Wait, dear math. Oh, let's see here. Wait. Should have asked somebody more tech savvy than you earlier. Yeah, actually, my son, I think I remember running it by him, and he's like, I don't know. And I said, well, Google it for me. And he's busy or something. And so I figured, you know what? I'm going to figure this out. You know, I was able to install a third-party operating system on my Android way back years ago without bricking it. And I remember my son, my eldest son, he's 40 now, but when he was however old he was, I spoke with him and he says, gosh, Dad, I didn't think you were that tech savvy with. And I said, well, I'm not, but I figured it out. So I was able to run a different operating system on my phone that was already not able to receive any further updates. So hence the reason for, the different iPhone 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, or Androids, same thing. But if you had the proper model of phone that was able to accept that you could break, then you could install third-party operating systems. And so I tried it, and I was nervous the whole time that I was going to ruin my phone. And it worked, at least then. I no longer, of course, have it. What happens when a clown farts? It smells funny. My gosh. Yeah, it was it was one of those things, George, that I really didn't need, but I was curious as to how to make it work. So every time I hit a dead end, I just left it. It's like, okay, even if I do figure it out, what am I going to use it for? I think it was the Xbox. I was trying to, well, what it was, again, I said earlier that my son graduated from an Xbox, to his laptop. And so when he left that laptop, I ended up on the Xbox, not to use it for gaming, but now I'm just sitting there picking away at all, trying to figure out all the ins and outs. And I would ask my son, hey, what's this button do? Or how do I find this? And he would show me. It was just familiarizing myself with, this controller. And then once I went to one of the menus, the settings, I started noticing, other options. I had no idea what they were. So I started clicking on them, and I got to live streaming or, camera or peripheral, things that could be hooked up to the Xbox. So I started inquiring about those, and then I came to webcam. I'm like, okay, how do you run a webcam on this thing? So I started Googling it, and then found out that there was an external webcam that you could purchase specifically compatible with an Xbox. And then I learned, well, the DPI, what do you call it? The dots per inch. Yeah, I think it's DPI. Was super low and compared to the smartphones. And I thought, well, that's not worth it. I'm going to end up with 760 p 700, sorry, is it 760? 720. And I thought, well, that's nothing compared to, the clarity of smartphones. So I thought, no, that's not worth spending the money to get an external webcam that is going to attach to the top of the TV. And yeah, 720. So I, because I had a, what brand was it? Single lens reflex camera before digital. What's the brand? Starts with a D. Anyways, so I was thinking, well, how do you incorporate I wonder if I could use this camera as a webcam. Well, come to find out that camera didn't have a hole any much better than what I had already looked at or inquired about. So I couldn't figure out how to attach that camera. It's like I had the cord that adapted to the camera and to the USB on the back of the Xbox, but it wouldn't recognize the camera. And then I would look back on the Xbox under the instructions, and it says you need to get a webcam that is compatible with the Xbox, and they have, the specific devices that are compatible with an Xbox. And I thought, no, I'm not going to go that route. And then finally, I gave it up. I think 3 years. And then finally, I read something that said you need a whatever the name of that adapter is. So I looked on Amazon and I found one for under 20 bucks or 20 bucks thereabouts. And I purchased it, and oh my gosh, that's all I needed. USB to, what's the adapter for the video and audio for your television? What is that cable called again? What is that? The HDMI. Thank you. You probably already typing it. Oh, excuse me. I happened to hit the Xbox. There we go. Yes, thank you, George. It's like a 15-second, 10 to 15-second delay between when you type it and you post it, and it reaches me. Yeah. So yeah, you did. You guessed it. But I think the audio and visual, audio and video was enough clue to to get it. So anyways, yeah, it's all you need is an adapter from USB to HDMI. It's just the black thumb drive looking sized adapter, with the USB on one end and the HDMI on the other. And that's all I needed the whole time. It's like, duh. I couldn't figure it out. But even then, I wasn't convinced that it was going to work on the Xbox. But sure enough, that's all it is. And it works on the back of the computer down in the basement, the laptop. I mean, the desktop. So that's it. As long as it has the plug that adapts to the camera and the USB on the other end. I did all that just to live stream on YouTube. Yeah, because I don't have. It's like dad grandfathered in on the Xbox because my son no longer uses it, and I watch YouTube, instead of primetime TV. So I'm in front of the 60-inch TV, and my wife's over on her iPad, and my son's over on his laptop. It's like they're set, but Dad gets the Xbox. So I had to figure out, how do I do all this on the Xbox? Well, I went, oh, I can browse on the internet through the Xbox. That's what I'm using right now. I'm using a browser, the smart TV. It's a smart TV, a smart phone, a smart, So why can't I do it on the TV? Well, I can, but it's antiquated compared to a phone. I gotta rely on this lug of a, with a tether attached. That's my headset, my headphone and microphone attached to the back of the, the drill, attached to the remote. I mean, to the controller. Yeah, you guys know all about this. I told my son from the very beginning, this is so wrong. You gotta push down on the toggle. And he's like, yeah, what's wrong with that, Dad? And he's all, I said, no, that's not user friendly. He says, why not? There's nothing wrong with it. And I gotta reach over the buttons in order to hit the, the right click and left click. He's like, yeah, what's wrong with that? I said, no, that's wrong. You got to reach over to get it. He's like, oh, Dad, you just don't know. I was like, yes, absolutely. But with help, of course, of my 19-year-old. But as far as like being proficient with this controller, no. I can see how you can develop it after a while, but for me, it's like, nah, never mind. I don't need to. Yeah, silly fun. What the heck? Oh, the TV keyboard. Yeah. Well, here, get this. I started out with remember this? Web TV. How old are you, George? May I ask? Are you in your 30s or are you a youngster or are you my age in your 50s or 60s? Or nowhere, none of the above? Ah, you're only 17. Oh, well, shoot, you got all this wired. Figured out, that is. Yeah, you're growing up with, the high-speed technology. Yeah, my son's 19. Yeah, my youngest is 19. Um, I had no idea, but I was already referring to you as you kids, meaning, you know, uh, Jason, and he's in his 20s, and some of the other guys are in their 30s, and they're still kids because they're my kids' age. And so I was automatically assuming you might be. Yeah, anonymity. Say that 10 times. Anonymity. Yeah, Jason's. Oh, I thought you were in your 20s, Jason. Sorry. All right. So you and Jay from New Zealand and Zach, you're all. No, Zach's only. Zach is the youngest. Zach is 23, 24, 23. That's right. Right, right, right. Yeah, and Jay Reverie from New Zealand, he's 30, going to be 31 in February. You're the youngest tonight. We've had younger. I think there was a 13-year-old popping in here, and I was like, "Where's your parents?" No, you can't come up on stage. I asked you earlier if uh, Djibouti is near Kenya. I don't know if you answered or not. I didn't look at the map. So speaking of, because I'm on an Xbox, even though it is Windows, I can't operate this like a laptop. I can't drop down. I can't minimize my tabs. I can only open, or I can only really safely navigate one tab at a time. If I tried to, yeah, you're in Africa. Is that near Kenya or no? I'm just guessing. The reason, I'll tell you why. Because vaguely off the top of my mind, it's in the Horn of Africa. Okay, Kenya's in the, oh, it is. I was gonna, yeah, look at the map for me. The reason why I ask is because I got plugged into a few Kenyans through this live stream. They found. Let me back up. My wife is from the Philippines. Because of her association with the Philippines, I got plugged into the Filipino live stream circles through my wife, and so therefore, once I got involved in visiting others' live streams, being audience members like you are in mine, um, I eventually, just recent, like within the last year, maybe a little more, I was in a Filipino live stream in the audience, and all of a sudden, they had visitors from Kenya, Africa. They don't border each other, however, there's but a country between them, Ethiopia. Okay, so not too far. And there were some people from Kenya in the live stream, and they had their own live stream channel, their own YouTube channels that they live streamed on. So then I visited, I got to know them, or at least we saying hello back and forth. And I subscribed to one of their channels. and next thing you know, I would get their notification, and vice versa. So whenever I went live, they would come in. As a matter of fact, I think one or two of them occasionally pop in. So I thought maybe because of that association that my channel got on your recommendation list. So since it isn't that, I tell people there's one of three reasons why my channel popped up in front of you, and that is the Word of God, military, or emergency medicine. Because those are the three tags that I use, and that's what we talk about. That's tonight, actually, or today, all day today, is the first time that we just kind of went off on a tangent and started telling jokes. And I haven't mentioned, no, the Word of God, actually, and medicine we were talking about when I was earlier in the live stream. This is like my second live stream, because the first one ended up crashing. My Xbox went completely on the blink. My whole TV went blank, and it ended my live stream. So I had to come back on. Wow, cool. Well, like I tell everybody, welcome. I'm glad it popped up in front of you. That's why I tell everybody, make sure and hit the yes. I was going to mention the algorithm, is what put it up in front of you. Hit the like button if you haven't already. And if you have, great. But that appears to, from what I'm being told, is one of the best ways of getting my channel out in front of other people. It's Thriller Thursday. Oh, you said, so my algorithm hasn't been touched enough to have personalized content yet. Well, it got there somehow. Something you watched recently that was associated with my channel. Even if it was fishing or military or, like I said, the Word of God or emergency medicine. Yeah. No, none of those. But who knows? Yeah, you know how the internet works. You end up at a store, buying, example, coffee. And next thing you know, you're getting that exact brand of coffee advertisements on your videos. And you're like, how did they know I just went to? Well, I think the receipt has some kind of a digital, I don't know. Or good old Mrs. A over here, I'm not saying her name so she doesn't come on, Alexa, there, right, she just turned on, is a culprit for a lot of it. Yeah, you should, George. Oh, stop. Alexa, stop. Oh my gosh, I made the mistake of waking her up. Yeah, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, even though this is a Thursday, is the normal days that I shoot for, from 8 p.m., that is Eastern Standard Time here in the United States, till midnight. But this day and these hours that I'm on totally disproves that particular statement. But yeah, whatever you want to do, I'll be here Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And we have a pretty chill crew. Of course, we have the occasional uh, um, trolls that just come in to, start trouble. But even some of them, we tend to calm down and get them to join in with some, decent conversations. So, yes, you guessed it. Say, Siri, like, what do you mean? Well, she won't wake up but if I say her name and then what should I say about Siri? Hey, who are you calling me trouble around here? Wait a minute, you lost me there. Who's Feliz Sueves? Hey, Alexa. Hey, Siri. Just shut off. Doo-doo. It's like she ran completely, immediately. Alexa, who is Siri? What did she say? Jordan, can you pick up mom? Your phone's alerting. My son needs to leave and pick up my wife. She's actually calling him now, probably telling him, "Are you coming?" or asking him, "Are you coming?" Oh, Feliz Navidad. Is that what you tried to say? Feliz Jueves, but Feliz Navidad. No, I know Feliz, but who is Feliz Jueves? I was trying to put that in context with what we were saying. What are you interested in, George? Oh, Jueves means Thursday? Oh, like good, good Thursday. Gotcha. Or happy Thursday. Gotcha, gotcha. Wait, I'm listening to the conversation. Alexa, what's the temperature? Oh, it was 32 last time 31. It's going down. You have a Google Chromecast, so I talk to Google in my Middle East impression. I'm afraid I don't have many interests. I'm sort of trying to find some right now. Um, like, are you in school? Are you still in high school, or are you out of school, out of high school? There's got to be something you do, or watch, or play, or yeah. You can't just exist, right? How about food? Yeah. Well, it's zero. What would 31 be? Like -1? Yeah, high school senior. Okay, well, that's equivalent to when I was a senior. I was 17. Are you, will you be 17 when you graduate? Oh, you're more than likely, if you're already 17, you're going to be 18 when you graduate. Yeah, gosh, George, I remember those days. I got my picture up on the wall when I was 17. You want to see my picture when I was 17? Oh, wait, I can't do it because I can't carry my camera. The tether's not that long. Wait, I can bring the picture here. Yeah, hold on. You're a November child. Oh, so you're late. Yeah, you're going to be 18. I was the same. I turned 18 in August, so I graduated in June at 17, and then I turned 18 in August. So sorry, I was 17 when I graduated. But Here's my 17-year-old picture. There it is. Wait. Let's see without the reflection. The hair, guys, the hair. Oh, wait, that reflection's horrible. There you go. (1979). I graduated in '80. So maybe it was '80 already, but there you go. I'm getting the reflection of the TV in there, but see if I can focus a little bit better. Whoa, this TV is horrible. Yep. Anyways, oh my gosh. See the other dilemma of having the controller in my hand. I just dropped it in my lap, and of course all the toggles were shifted, and then it changed tabs. So that's the only dilemma with this thing, or one of many dilemmas with operating with an Xbox controller. Oh no, now I got to get the hole lined up just right. Oh no, I ain't gonna get it. Hold on a second. This is not good. And I'm holding the Xbox controller in my hand. Okay, where is it? Where is it? Right there. Come on, hit the nail. For goodness sake, there it is. There it is. Okay, good to go. All right, there we go. So, yeah, ironic that you, is that the right word? That you mentioned 17 and a senior in high school. I went, wait a minute, I've got my exact picture there. You also have your picture up in your room? Yep. Because they're so sure we will. Well, that's typically when they take their picture. Your picture is before you graduate. So you better graduate. And you know what? Here, okay, I got to tell you the truth. I barely graduated. And that was my own wrongdoing. I figured out that I only needed 3 credits. Basically, 1 credit for each class in order to graduate with 40 credits from the school that I graduated from. 40 was the amount of credits you needed to graduate. I had 37 going into 12th grade. So I knew I only needed 3 credits to graduate, which meant I only needed 3 classes. As a matter of fact, the very first class, which was band, marching band, I was a drummer. I got 2 credits for that class. So that means I only needed 1 more class for that day. And so I took physical education. First I took band, and then I took PE after it. After the PE class, I was done for the day. I got out at, let's see, band was from 7 till 9. It was 2 hours. And then the next class was, 9 to 10. Was that what it was? Or did I have 3 classes? Yeah, I think I did. I think I got out like 10 o'clock in the morning. And so I would loiter around the school because all my friends were still in class. And so I'm going to hang out with them after school, right? Especially the one best friend, Tim. Well, he wasn't off yet. He wasn't out of school, so I'd hang around. And then once he got out, we'd go together over to his house. And I ended up getting kicked out of band. Wait, that would short me 2 credits. Whatever the numbers were, I was short 1 credit. I ended up getting kicked out of band. It's my own being a smart aleck to my teacher. He warned me that if I continued, he was going to drop me. And I thought, no way, I already got my letter in music, and I've been in the band for 3 years. This is my senior year. Please, you won't do that. Well, I came into class that one day, and next thing you know, I got a messenger at the door, and he had a pink slip I don't know if you guys have pink slips, but my school did. And those pink slips, everybody knew what a pink slip meant. That means that's a pass to the office. I mean, in other words, you're in trouble for something. And yeah, so I ended up, and I was like clueless as to what this pink slip was about. I thought, I remember looking at it. Even the teacher's the one that received it from the messenger, and then he turned around, he called my name, and I came up thinking, what the heck is this? And the teacher didn't say anything, and he's the one that initiated it. And he gave me the pink slip, and I'm sitting there looking at it, and it says counselor's office, and the check box to the counselor's office. And I remember looking at it all the way to the counselor's office thinking, what in the world is this about? And I get there, and my counselor says, ah, Mr. MacKay, looks like Mr. Hickman wants you out of his class. Hickman was the name of my band teacher. And I thought, oh my gosh, he did it. He actually did it. And I thought, and that's when my heart sunk. And I went, oh my Lord. So that prevented me from graduating from high school. And the teacher tried to squeeze me in. No. It was to my class. I was at school. And that's just the name of the messenger, is what they called the person that was assigned that task to deliver pink slips to the classrooms. And yeah, so the counselor tried to get me into a class. I had like one semester left. So if I could get into a class and pass it, then that would give me that extra credit that I was short. And he could not find any open. It was too late in the year is what it was. There was just no classes open anymore. They were all filled. And then the very last, yeah, let me, yeah, well, at least you're honest. The Edward Cullen from Twilight kind of guy in high school. Well, guess what my middle name is, Jason? Remember my initials? Oh, you're on the edge right now? Hold on. I'm going to tell you in a minute. Yes, correct. Jason. Remember you were saying we have things in common? The more you talk, the more you start saying more. uh, yeah, so anyhow, no, Edward. Edward. Um, so the counselor says, he thinks about it and he goes, are you working, young man? And I went, I am. I said, I'm working part-time at a restaurant, at a steakhouse, as a busboy. And he said, I think you're in luck. And I went, really? Like, how are you going to pull that off? He says, we happen to have a extra credit program here at the school now. It's called Work Experience. As long as you're working part-time 22 hours or more, we can apply that work experience as credit. And I said, as a matter of fact, I am working more than 22 hours. He said, as long as you maintain that for the rest of the semester and you bring in your time card with the amount of hours on it, showing that you worked. So I would make Xerox copies of my time card and I would bring that in, periodically every week or every month or whatever it was. And yeah, that enabled me to graduate from high school. Yeah. Thank God. My mom, what was I going to tell my mom? Mom, your son is going to have to go to summer school or whatever. Yeah, your uncle dropped out of high school as well and worked at Domino's. Well, guess what? I worked at Square Pan Pizza. I don't know if you've ever heard of that. It's a West Coast thing because it was a owner that had the bucks that opened a restaurant called Square Pan Pizza because the pizzas were square, not round. They were rectangular. So I worked at a, but that didn't enable me to graduate. I just happened to say that I also worked at a pizza place in the summer. Yeah. Oh, I tell that story a lot, George. Yeah. Well, you know what? I wouldn't I wouldn't count your chickens before they hatch. And I mean, they may be full of stories and different kinds of stories, but I wouldn't say that, they're the most reputable or respectable as far as level of education, you know. There was too much there was now that I know better, there was too much um tolerated. God, I must be sucking a lot of air while I'm talking. There was a lot tolerated even through once you got into the 7th, 8th, ninth, 10th, 11th and 12th grades. There was too much tolerated so you could get away with a lot. And there needed to be more it needed to be more strict and not tolerating a lot of stuff that went on. And that enabled the school to have the issues that it had, and the problems with the faculty and the students and or vice versa. Just too much tolerated. And for for example, oh, here it's just you go to your classes, you don't even get to choose them. Actually, you don't go to your classes. You stay in the same class, right, all day. Well, that's you're not the only one. That's the way it used to be. Until they called it something here in America, where they started uh, the teachers are the ones who have to switch. Right. Yeah. That's when you start going through puberty. Is a big time, right? You start recognize the other gender, and everything else that goes with that. And that's what I mean as far as too much of that was tolerated. And then you start becoming, rebellious and then, even those teenagers that are now matured way beyond the normal maturity as far as growth, and they start standing up to teachers. I mean, physically standing up to teachers. I saw it, 7th, 8th, and ninth grade, and it was ugly. That type of stuff shouldn't be an issue at that age. And man, I saw some pretty gnarly fights in junior high school. And then they had in that particular era, segregation of schools was still an issue, and they started trying to put an end to that by segregating more, and then so that would bring different attitudes into the school, and then there was friction, and that would bring fights and all that other crap. Um, but yeah, what you were describing, about you're staying in the same room, that was the way it used to be. You went to school. The school was a schoolroom, and all the subjects were taught either by the same or different teachers. Um, and I forget what they called it, but they started to separate. I'm not sure why they did that, but that was in elementary school through 6th grade. It was one classroom, one teacher, unless there was a substitute, and the teacher was out sick or something, then she'd have someone to substitute. But it was one class, one building in that same classroom. But then when we went into, they called it junior high, at least they call it middle school sometimes in America, depending on what state you're in. And seventh, eighth, and ninth, at least when I was going through, was called junior high. And then after ninth grade was 10, 11, and 12. And that was considered high school. Those grades had separate classes for the different subjects. So every class, the bell would ring, you'd get up, you'd have 6 minutes to get over to your other class, and then a tardy bell would ring, meaning you had 3 minutes or 2 minutes more to get in class and get seated, or otherwise you're going to be tardy and you get written up for that, or at least you get dinged for that. And then, yeah, and there was usually like 6 periods, 6 classes. I believe so. And then high school was the same. Different classes. You moved throughout the campus to go to the different classes. You remember iPods? That's good. Well, you're almost out of high school, bro. Praise God, you're not into any, gosh, there's so much that I'm not even going to talk about it, but there was just too much for me to get involved with. And yeah, I got my feet wet, way too wet, too fast. Yeah, I'm sorry. Did I call you bro a few times? Brother, short for brother. Brother. I'm falling into the fad of the generation around here. Everybody calls everybody bro, at least the kids do, Even if you're talking to a girl, that kind of irks me. It's like, come on, she's not a bro. She's a girl. Stop calling her bro. Really? Is that the national language? Spanish? Well, your English is like exceptional. I don't know if that's just your text or if you speak that way as well. I would say you're writing in a high level English. Oh, even in Spanish? Yeah. Do they use the word bro? Oh, Spain, Spain. Yes, you did. Sorry, sorry, sorry. Who who was it that came in here that said they were in Djibouti? That wasn't you, George? No, it must not have been you, because you did say Spain. Oh, that's where the language came from? Djibouti? Oh, you mean you're actually calling her bra instead of bro? There's a differentiation between the two. Was it you, George, that mentioned Djibouti? It's sometimes hard to follow in chat, especially when you get a lot of people. Sometimes I can't even, I just got to step out of the conversation and just let everybody talk amongst themselves because there's so many people. I can't keep up with them. So. Really? Solely through the internet? Wow. No, you mentioned Djibouti yourself. I was sort of confused when you suddenly brought it up. Well, somebody brought it up and they said Djibouti's in Africa. Was that you? You're confused when you suddenly brought it up. That's weird. No, somebody said I'm in Djibouti. And I went, oh yeah, I said I was in Africa, but only because you asked. But you're not in Africa, you're in Spain. Or are you from Spain and you're in Africa? All right, now I'm really getting confused. What the heck? Leo! George, you're confusing me. Correct. You did say it was in Africa. Right. So you're the one that said it was in Africa. I remember that. But where did Djibouti come from? Your booty. Djibouti. Your booty. Your booty. Halaan. That means guess in Tagalog. Michael. Okay, never mind, George. Somebody wrote Djibouti, and I said, "Oh, yeah, I know Djibouti. I was in the Al Anbar province, Iraq." And then it must have been you that said, "But Djibouti's in Africa." Oh, for which country? Spain or Djibouti? It's definitely your booty. Hey, you know what? My son is going to be home soon with my wife, and I'm going to go ahead and get off. If I don't come back on, I'm going to try to be on Friday night. It'll be, as some of you know, Reformers Unanimous Night. It's a Christ-centered program for those struggling with stubborn habits, strongholds, addictions, whatever you want to call them. But Jason, George, and the rest of you guys, Michael. Oh, I'm 62, by the way, Mike. You were asking. 6'2", 6'2". Yeah, Friday. If I'm not on tonight, probably not. I'll be back tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern time until midnight-ish, thereabouts. So, yeah, don't forget the thumbs up, the like, the rest of you guys. Thank you for coming in. Appreciate it. Always, always. And we're going to go out with a bang here, just like normal. All right, guys. See ya. Wouldn't want to be ya, as they say. Oh, your uncle's turning 52, 53? Awesome. You're not the first, Mike, to say that. Since 1996, 97, I've been told the same about my voice. I'll tell you more later. All right, guys. Later. See ya. we can do this in style. Okay, here we go.